Greene calls for the termination of the warden of the D.C. jail because the pillows that the Jan 6 insurrectionists get aren't fluffy enough. And that they should be getting special patriotic treatment because their crimes were committed in the defense of America. Shall we?
Well, there she is. Welcome back to Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia. Superstar. She is beloved. She is also less than beloved by some. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. I didn't realize this was a Greg Kelly clip. We've doubled up today. But they do make a cute couple that could clear out a party.
With them. Congresswoman, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Greg. But, you know, there's people that are being tortured and abused in the D.C. jail and other jails
The fuck they are?
across the country simply because they're Trump supporters.
Yeah. Listen to that for a second. May I? They're being tortured simply because they are Trump supporters. Tortured. Forget Abu Ghraib. Forget Guantanamo. These people being held in the D.C. jail, given organic food, are being tortured. How are they being tortured? Are we waterboarding them? Waterboarding? I could say that. Waterboarding them?
And they're not BLM and Antifa rioters.
It is wild, and you've been so strong in your support and visiting them in jail.
Yes, stronger than Biden, not as strong as Trump. I don't know what the scale is, but...
You actually attempted a visit before you got in successfully. You had a confrontation with a guard named Landerkin. There she is, by the way, Kathleen Landerkin. We found a pretty interesting tweet of hers, or maybe your office did, but we'd like to put it up on the screen.
Yeah, it was her office did, and they're providing you with it.
Back in 2019, she wrote, "F everyone who supports Trump." Now, this is a...
Okay, cool. And now this is why, and I'm glad Greg Kelly is finally bringing up, we need to end free speech now.
See, jail official. She's in charge of looking out for these guys. They've been complaining about horrible treatment.
Yeah, she comes by daily and gives them wedgies, I hear. What horrible treatment. Notice she brings up torture. He says horrible treatment. Spell it out to us. What is this? The Salisbury steak's a little chewy?
Much of this do you think results of her political views and maybe the
This place is like a fucking prison.
political views of her colleagues, the unfair treatment?
It's absolutely 100% her political views is the reason why they're being abused. And she's not just any guard, Greg. She is actually the...
Wait a minute. Sorry. Because of her political views, all the other guards, everybody else who works there, are tormenting them on her orders because of her tweets. I see.
Deputy warden of the D.C. jail. She oversees everything that these people go through in the jail. She oversees their conditions, their treatment, where they're housed.
By the way, thanks, Clark, for resubscribing. Don't forget to thumbs up and resubscribe and subscribe and all that stuff that I'm supposed to say all the time, and I keep forgetting. Damn it.
The jail and everything that happens to them. Any of their complaints they make, Kathleen Landerkin, the deputy warden, would be fielding those complaints. And in that video shot right there, she said that we were trespassers, members of...
Yeah, you are. And we now know that it is very possible that you and Gomert and some of the other people you talked to were in direct connection with some of the people who charged the Capitol that day, some of whom could be in the D.C. jail. These could be people that you were directing into parts of the Capitol. This could be just, tampering with witnesses or intimidating co-conspirators.
Congress were trespassers. So this woman and her dangerous beliefs on Trump supporters is causing so many problems for these pre-trial January 6th defendants.
I noticed that when she said trespassers, I thought that was pretty aggressive for a local.
It's not aggressive. It's just true, fucko.
Civil servant to say to you guys, a congressional delegation. So
you're they wouldn't leave.
What can we do with this, and how do we get these guys justice? Because I do believe firmly that they are being treated very, very unfairly, persecuted, prosecuted because of their allegiance to Trump.
Oh, yeah? Not because they're on video filming themselves committing crimes, including beating police officers. You know how many of these fuckers just walked? Like, if you handed a weapon to somebody or were part of the line breaching the door going heave-ho, which crushed the ribs and chipped the spinal column of a police officer, you could just go home. The only people who are in the DC jail are people who are literally a material danger. They have let so many people just like without even an ankle cuff. But most of these assholes have been able to go home. But notice how they keep telling us how they're being mistreated and persecuted and tortured without telling us what is happening. Hopefully they will.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for asking that. And you've done a lot of this information for your viewers. Putting it out there is huge. What I have to tell you is that's not her only tweet. We did a deep dive into her Twitter.
Oh, is that this is the torture? There's been 2 tweets,
which she has now canceled, and her views are deeply disturbing. She not only hates Trump and his supporters, but she also doesn't believe in a border wall. Yet she held these January 6th defendants in complete solitary confinement for months and months.
In complete solitary confinement for months and months. Yeah, only the ones who wouldn't get vaccinated, wouldn't wear a mask, and kept spitting on the guards. I don't know why they weren't allowed in General Pop.
She not only hates Trump, but she also doesn't like white people.
By the way, she is white. Maybe it's a self-hating thing. Notice that they're not putting up the... She says they found tweets of hers that assert all these things. One would think they grabbed those things and could show them, like now deleted, right? But they're just showing that it isn't up anymore.
And wants them to be extinct. She said that in one of her tweets. She also does...
Wait, hold on. She wants white people to be extinct. This lady wants white people to be extinct. I'm sure it's an interpretation.
Like Bible verses on her Twitter timeline and many other disturbing things. And so...
What? Like Bible verses on her Twitter timeline? What?
On her Twitter timeline in one of her tweets. She also doesn't like Bible verses on her Twitter timeline and many other disturbing things. And so we've...
Oh, because she shit on Marco Rubio's tweets or something?
Saved all of her tweets, and we'll be going after Kathleen Landerkin. She needs to be fired. Her political bias is dangerous for pretrial defendants that are being housed in the D.C. jail. And we would love for people to help make that happen. You know, you can call...
What the fuck? No, it will happen if it's deserved to happen. You won't have any effect on stuff. What do you want him to do? Storm the fucking jail now?
The D.C. jail. You can call the mayor's office in Washington, D.C. Mayor...
Yeah, that'll work.
Muriel Bowser. You can call the Department of Justice, look up the phone number and call. Tell them exactly what you think about this. Tell them how outraged you are that Antifa BLM rioters who attacked Americans.
And how horrible it is. Look, these people just like literally, they were starved so much they wasted away, and all that was left was their clothes.
Cities for months on end. Over 90% of them were let off of their charges, but yet people that rioted at the Capitol on January 6th are being treated unbelievably like political prisoners.
Well, they are kind of political prisoners because they tried to overthrow our government. And 90% of the people who were arrested related to a lot of the stuff that you're talking about over the summer was like looting of a Target, which isn't, while it's a crime, they're still going to have to face charges about that, whether they're indicted or not. That's a city thing. But they didn't try to upend our entire functioning government, you tool.
For the crimes that they committed. You know, in America, we have due process and we have the right to be...
Yes, they have due process. All of them would be out of jail right now if they'd have just gone, yeah, I'll show up for court.
innocent until we're proven guilty. And I believe in those rights. I believe in our justice system, and I know most Americans do. We never want to lose that in our country, and we need all Americans to come together on this one and to stop this political witch hunt and stop this authoritarian.
Yeah, look, we do believe in innocent until proven guilty. But we have two other aspects of, that's why we have jails and why some people are held pre-trial, because based on the evidence and the words the person is saying about how they feel about their behavior that they've already admitted to, even though they have yet to enter a plea, the judge can decide, oh no, if I let this person out on the street, they're going to walk across the road and try to blow up the treasury because they're fucking lunatics. Might want to keep them in jail until we decide how long they go to prison.
And out of control government, Biden regime, from just torturing their political enemies and using them as basically examples of how they're going to treat Trump supporters going forward.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you've been to D.C. lately, but there's billboards. This could be you, of all the people that are in the D.C. jail for smearing shit on the walls, stealing laptops, and assaulting police officers.
Yeah, this is still America. This is still America. And
bring your fucking dad on. I don't know if he's still alive. Greg Kelly's dad was the police commissioner in New York. Bring him on and ask him about like violent vandals what he would do in New York City if they broke into a federal building in New York City or the mayor's office and stole stuff, shit on the walls, beat up cops. How would your dad feel? Would he believe that those people were political prisoners and they deserve to be let out?
if you're not successful, I don't know if this is America anymore. We got to get those guys out, and this woman should not be.
Why? Based on what?
In that position. All right. Well, we appreciate it. We got to go, but come back.
Yeah. Wrap it up. Nothing was said. Did you guys hear anywhere in here? She said they were tortured. They are being persecuted and prosecuted. I think prosecuted was his word, fucking up persecuted, for their political beliefs. And just because they, quote, support Donald Trump, that's why they're in jail, because they support Donald Trump. Is the Biden administration just roaming around checking voting records, locking people up because they voted for Trump last time? No. Is the vast majority of the people who actually breached the Capitol and broke shit in jail? No. Are all of the people who are charged with assaulting police officers in jail currently? No. They got trials coming up, but a bunch of them went home. So the folks that are in this particular jail and in some of the others that they've been held in, those, according to these assholes, are being tortured and persecuted and prosecuted simply because they support Trump. However, I would venture a guess that it is not their support for Trump, but how they show it that might have landed them in, I was going to say hot water, but that sounds like torture. Landed them in a normal size prison cell in a jail cell in DC. And the way you know that both of these two idiots are full of shit is they said tortured, persecuted, and prosecuted without bringing up their definition of what's actually happening. By the way, 1,000 people in the chat room already. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. I feel like on the morning shows, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, I've been diving into like the high math of inflation and the CPI and PPI. I'm like, yesterday I feel like I drove away half the audience because I was getting too far into the deep reads. And then the PPI tweets started flying today, and I was like, shit, tomorrow morning I'm just going to be such an asshole about this. But I appreciate you guys all being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe on whatever platform you prefer. That's what I spread it all around the place. What?
Okay, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, we thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they're being tortured. Meanwhile, I just got this new blouse and blazer. It was a deal. We went to Kohl's, and it was fabulous. And I appreciate you wearing your semi-Christmassy candy cane tie. You know, it's a little yellower than it should be.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, to be continued. We'll be right back.
To be continued doing what?